Okay, folks, we have arrived for episode 22 in the challenge series. I think I did that. Yeah, this is 22. Duh. I confused myself a bit because of backlog that I have recorded. I didn't have the ability to record because of an air conditioner in the room. It was warm yesterday. Anyway, sort of important side note, I think it's already been mentioned, but as we get closer to the Dream Car Championship Plus at 24, more races in the 720 category will pop up. As there is not even a potluck race in this episode either. So that's the place of that's been taken by a 720 event. Alright folks, we're here at the start of the first event. It's a 3-lap 680 category event at Spa. This will be a bit on the longer side, especially as far as first round is concerned. As Morzona, the focus car, who's technically at his home race here at Belgium. He used to actually be a track marshal for Spa before he decided to be an actual driver. Forgot how loud this game is. Why am I on the fuck hood cam? Oh, BMW moment. The M3 is not the most stable thing in the world. Don't let Need for Speed Most Wanted fool you into thinking. Yeah, BMW's alleged adage of make the suspension faster than the engine doesn't really work in this game. Most BMWs snap on you anyway, like that. Mind you, the engine is upgraded, but still. You'd think these are chicanes, not S's. Parker barely leaves the lane for the BMW to go ahead, but he takes the spot anyway. And it seems in the near future there will be a BMW versus BMW duel over 9th place. We're gonna get it into the final chicane. And Zola's gonna definitely win. He's also gonna take Fidenzi along the way, and just about got a third, but instead just drove into Gemini instead of ahead of him. But he'll get him on the straightaway instead. Fidenzi gets him literally into the braking zone for turn 1, and then that's not quite in the Fidenzi spirit, now is it? Just kind of ran Gemini out of the way a little bit. So he takes Shibe and the front shirt away. Her and Schwartz with relative ease. Sun's next. Later braking, you outbroke a race car. That takes some nerve. Drop into P2. Only halfway through the race, if even that. All of the curb. Not the best Apex. Oh, jeez. Mars seems to be pushing after the leader, Hana Song, who prefers to just go by Diva anyway. Pretty much every driver has some kind of nickname that they go by. It's more like a call sign than anything. For example, Morris Zolna prefers Quake. A couple of drivers actually have more than 8 G's. About got it there? A couple of drivers actually have the same name. For example, Shaughnessy and Dom DePrisco both go by Bullets. The only difference is that, I think one's spelled with an I for some reason. I don't remember which one that was. And he will take Diva around the outside of Blanchimont. Well, he took her and then promptly found some curbing, and he does well as to keep that car from hitting a wall. A wall. That is nuts. But Morris still has another lap to take that back from Diva. Despite nearly wrecking the car, still runs the fastest lap so far. So I guess it was a net gain on Diva overall from the start of lap 2. Well, Scott Webber, I believe, has just taken third from the GTO driver, going into turn 1. Oh, he just taps the brakes. He is pushing after. Oh no! Oh, oh. That's not going to be easy to fit. That might be a tax write-off there. Let's do that again from. Just a little bit of undulation on the inside of Eau Rouge. He's full walk the other way. But, that's a 120 mile an hour impact. At least he turned the hazards on, so we know that he is conscious in this thing after that. Because that is a nearly head-on impact of over 110 miles an hour. He's lucky he's not in a right-side drive. Or this could have been even uglier yet. But that is a DNF for the M3, which should more or less allow Diva to just drive off into the sunset. As everyone cautiously makes their way up Eau Rouge, not wanting a repeat of so many real-life crashes that have actually claimed lives in real life, so I could have a couple recent series where people just didn't slow down when red flags were displayed there. In the madness, Shaughnessy lost third, was fourth before Zolna's crash. Went back to third and then lost it again to Schwartz, who has definitely made something out of nothing here, as I believe he started in the bottom half of the grid, and he's going to get a podium, possibly more, if he gets a good run down towards Blanchimont and up to the bus stop. And to sort of break the fourth wall moment here, I can't help but notice that the AI are not taking these corners very fast. I think the AI is trying to let player me catch up, but, you know, because the car is DNF'd, I can't do that. Because, like, they were taking Blanchimont nearly flat, now they're gonna slam the brakes, yeah. as she heads up to the bus stop. The world's shortest gear ratio is doing 40 miles an hour in third gear. Hana Song is going to grab the victory at Spa after Zollner's crippling defeat. Scott Webber and Dedrick Schwartz finish the podium. Shaughnessy barely will manage fourth after starting on pole in the race. And yeah. So I'm getting reports that the M3 E46 is just a complete write-off. The thing is so broken from that collision. Apparently the whole engine bay is just out of whack. It's really hard to fix a structural problem, because that would require getting an entirely new roll cage, and probably an entirely new engine. Because I'm sure the engine probably took a lot of damage from that collision too. As if BMW engines aren't already unreliable enough as it is. So it seems until some sort of external agreement, or external arrangement I should say, is reached, we'll have to say goodbye to Morris Zona for the moment. He cannot participate if he does not have a car, and that E46 was his only car in the series. So unless somehow by some miracle, I mean, I know there's a couple of guys here that know how to fix a car, but I mean, I saw the state of the thing. The front of the thing looks more like a Mercedes D-Class than anything. D-Class? No, it's an A-Class. That's the, like the A160. It looks more... It's a Mitsubishi I at the front. It just... They took the BMW out. It's just an MW now. It's most wanted. Wait. We're here for the second race of the episode. We are at High Speed Ring, 5-lap race in 720 cars, and the road is damp. Can't quite tell as Barbara Page makes a crazy move on the outside of many cars. Holy momentum, Batman. I can't tell if it's actually still falling from the replay, but there is definitely water on the road. You can see the spray coming up, and, you know, as such, everyone is on sports tires, or for some unlucky folk, even worse. As we scroll up and we see Riley Blanchard is suffering on comfort softs. Stephanie's on intermediates. You cheeky bastard. Again, breaking the fourth wall. We gotta work on getting everybody intermediates, because only a couple of cars have them. I actually had no idea that I don't remember getting intermediates for that car. So, I don't know. Anyway, Barbara is already up to P6 looking for more. We've only completed a lap. There she goes on Travis. Already into the top 5. We're a minute and a half into this event. Oh, shit. Oh my god. That's another just terrible crash. Spin cycle for Page. And Ricard just drifts lazily back into the circuit, collected by more cars. Oh, yeah, that's a DNF, I would say. That is terrifying. The fact that she even has her hazards on is about... Oh, that's a miracle. Holy sh... What the heck is happening here? I think I was just getting tire smoke. Oh, that's so much worse camera. I mean, it's better to actually see what happened, but it just looks so much worse. But that doesn't help. Her car faces back out. It faces back outwards. Just put in too much steering. And then overcorrects. That's another just multiple, just massive impacts. And then she just gets clobbered by both Honoka and O'Reilly for good measure. Yeah, let's see. Let's look at the speedometer here as the car goes barreling towards that outside wall. About 135 miles an hour, right to the front right of the car. Front right? Directions. Front left of the car. And then takes a hit right to the door, right to the driver's side door at another probably several, like 100 plus miles an hour from Taniguchi in the R34. No, it's actually not in the driver's door, but it's pretty close. And it's just a second major hit to the left front fender and quarter panel in that area. That pitches Barbara into a just dizzying spin. At which point I'm surprised she's even kept her orientation. She gets clobbered 2 more times in the back of the car by the oncoming Honoka, who was mostly slowed down but can't even see where Barbara is in all of this smoke. Hits her like 80, and Thomas, who is on comfort softs and can barely stop, and smacks into Barbara at about 120. So, I think we need a red flag for that, as Barbara is not in the safest place. Many damaged cars here, and we're only just over a lap into the event. So... Wait, huh? Oh, Stephanie pit off of the intermediates on the softs. How do you... Those are not in the regulation, you cheater! Bitch! How dare you? The intermediates aren't supposed to be either. You better be on the right tires at the end of this red flag, Stephanie. Alright, we are back after the red flag and a race restart. We're already 4 wide as under the red flag, Honoka and Taniguchi pit to repair their cars quickly and manage to seem to get them back into somewhat working shape by the looks of things as Honoka passes like 5 cars. Both Thomas O'Reilly and Barbara Page have retired with major damage to their cars. I'm surprised Taniguchi managed to fix his either. He took a bigger hit than Thomas did. As Stephanie put the intermediates back on, so she also pit, and she just came out ahead of those two as they fixed their cars. I don't know. I think the intermediates are part of the regulation. She's just not allowed to pit off of them onto anything other than hards. Or sports tires. So if she pits off them onto racing softs again, she's disqualified. Unfortunately, she'll only know that retroactively because no one can tell her now. Defolco is still fighting for his life on those comfort mediums back there. Where is their Honoka? Those downshifts sound painful. My god. barely sneaks ahead before the corner. And the car already up into P4. Clearly repaired that car quite well. It seems to really hasn't seemed to have lost any of its speed at the moment. So it just screeches past Brian Ice. Only Hansen and Ayase left to go. Only Hansen left to go. That was just effortless. Looks like it's setting up for a final lap duel between Hansen and... Hansen? Where do you see a dealer? Hansen and Honoka. Honoka using short shifting again. She's got a huge run on Hansen, but Hansen's gonna have better horsepower. I was about to say and four-wheel drive. No, they're actually both four-wheel drive. I always forget the NSX is, because it's so slidey sometimes that you tend to not think about it as such. Drag race down to 1. And Hansen, I don't know if that was losing control or trying to pit maneuver Honoka, but he falters and Kosaka takes the lead with just under a lap to go. Meanwhile, DeFalco is still suffering. He is literally like almost a whole sector behind the next car. He is a whole sector behind the leader. Ellie is trying to hold off Ice to remain on the podium. Maybe looking at a drag race here for the W. Honoka kept a lot of grip in the car there. And so as a result, with Wayne, despite having a lot of horsepower to his name, will not defeat Honoka to the line, and she will take the victory. Ellie just about stays third, and Nico fifth for Mercury as well. Reen, I don't remember, she wasn't in the race. Stephanie takes ninth on the intermediates. I guess they paid off, but they didn't pay off nearly as much as I figured they would. And yeah, on to round 3. We're here for the third race of the episode, after hopefully with one with significantly less death-defying crashes here at Tsukuba for what may very well be the shortest race in Challenge Series history, since laps here for a fast car at the front of the field can probably be less than a minute, even in just the 640 category, as Jinwei gets absolutely out of shape, allowing an easy pass for Minako Kochiya, the car focus in this race. I would say working with home track advantage, but looking at the leaderboard, it seems as though that applies to a lot of them. Still can't believe that there's a Porsche engine swapped Beetle in the race that makes more horsepower than the Porsche that's actually in the race. It's just hilarious to me. Oh, this is not a wide enough circuit for that. Oh my word. How'd we get away with that even? Thrasher and Weber act foolish heading into the last of the hairpins. Yeah? Because she is not pleased with the sudden brake testing from Ring. She will then demonstrate how good her brakes are and send it on 3 people at the same time into turn 1. A race this short turns into a time trial, more or less. It's just a game of chase the rabbit. Like, she essentially has 5 minutes to make up 20 positions, and this is not a wide track. Minako is very clearly the fastest car on the track based on that fastest lap time. But getting through the traffic is taking so long because they're also fighting for their own positions that she may very well just straight up run out of time. Especially when they do that. Another honk of screw yourself from the RX-8 driver. And, yeah, Ross Drinkwater's all the way up here. 2 laps to go. And that's like an 8-second gap to make up on the leader. Plus, you still have to pass these 2 behind him before you can even get a shot at Drinkwater. Just to see what kind of lap time will be pulled out now that Minako is unleashed from the clutches of the stupidity in the pack. Oh my. Nearly a sub-minute lap. If it weren't for that massive oversteer moment on the exit, it would have been a sub-minute. Something should be able to improve on it though is now she's caught Ellie. Maki took the lead from Drinkwater, presumably into either the last or the first turn. And Minako is, I think, pretty much out of time, especially as Ellie just kind of doesn't accelerate. She'll get onto the podium, but Ross is so slow on exit. She needed a much better exit than that to have any catch up getting up to Maki before the end of the straightaway. Yeah, she'll get Drinkwater, but she's gonna run out of time. And so, Maki from Mercury Racing is going to grab the W. Kochiya and Drinkwater make up the podium with her. Ellie and Nico 4th and 6th for Mercury. And Fidel Fabian, with his first meaningful result as his actual debut, he started in like 19th. He didn't exactly get much of a chance. And indeed, that race was over in like just over 5 minutes, like probably 5:20. I didn't actually look at the total race time and the race was over. So, on to the 4th round. I'm here for the 4th race of the episode, where I seem to have had a mental lapse. There is, in fact, a roulette race in the episode. It just wasn't the final race, it's the 4th race instead. Because we're here for it at Daytona. The camera is focusing on Thrasher, as he starts last in the race. Although, obviously not going to be there for too long. Oh, that is awfully bold. That's just barely a Mustang's width right there, Thrasher. I think Siegfried just made a little bit of contact with Thrasher. This Silvia Q's is definitely going to be one of the most polarized vehicles in the race. It has horsepower to make a 720 car look like it's standing still, but its handling and braking capabilities could be outdone by a 600 class. Even with how little time it actually spent on the accelerator all the way, it still nearly broke 200 miles an hour. Double kill. Cam Walker, who started on the pole for this event, is already making good his escape plan. Already got a noticeable lead over second place Erica Roth. Then we have Dom DePrisco, who's making himself look like a 720 car by being ahead of Sebastian Orleans. I have my earbuds in the wrong way. I had my right earbud in my left ear this entire time. Whoops. Thrasher overtakes Riel for 4th place. That's 5th place ranker. You can count, totally. I know you can. Ironic, given that Erica Roth has a superior top speed on the straights, but Cam just has better cornering and acceleration, courtesy of all-wheel drive. However, that cornering and acceleration, which would also be to the Crossbow's benefit, doesn't seem to be getting Orleans anywhere, as Dom DePrisco is still staying comfortably ahead of him. And the Thrasher is quickly approaching the Crossbow driver. May have a go at him. May have a go at him. He's gonna get... He's doing a measly 148. Oh god, the S13 has been unleashed. Witness just stupidity, 203 miles an hour at the line. Oh god. This car will be very interesting if we ever introduce fuel usage and tire wear into the road car races. That is definitely planned for later races of other varieties, but not for this. Around the outside of the Countach. Just a superior exit. Probably a bit more horsepower in that Mustang. Since it's a little heavier, it's allowed to have that. Roth is slowly gaining on Cam. Not by a whole lot, but she's begun to use the horsepower to its fullest extent. As we have already passed halfway in the event. 5.5 minutes have elapsed. And Thrasher is now catching the 720 class cars. See, this at least makes a little bit of sense. You've already seen it once. Mach-E beating Ryan Wolf at High Speed Ring, the last roulette race being a prime example. So Thrasher catching up to the 720 cars, especially if they got complacent at the front, is believable. That Mustang packs quite a bit of horsepower. I think it's still sitting at 490, which is... that's high for a 720 car almost. But some of the 720 cars that have that kind of horsepower, or no, some of the 720 cars that have a lot of horsepower are older cars with less traction. The Mustang is a modern machine with modern suspension and modern brakes and modern oversteer. As despite the oversteer, Thrasher gets down the inside of Roth, and Roth follows up with some drifting of her own, but can't match the Mustang's corner exit, probably because of the drift. So it seems as though the last two and a quarter laps should be between Cam Walker and Thrasher. A 720 versus a 680. But the driver in the 680 knows his way around a Mustang way better than Cam knows his way around an Audi. Thrasher honks at Cam, trying to throw him off in any way he can surmise. Cam has dealt with pressure before, so that alone probably won't do much. You're gonna have to, I don't know, actually try and pass the Audi. Cam blocks inside. 2 laps to go. Thrasher brakes conservatively, probably knowing he's got plenty more corners to make a move. Good check up and down the field. There's not a whole lot happening, and anything that has happened is pretty much what you'd expect. The only thing that's really of note is that Orleans just got passed by a 680 class. Then again, he couldn't catch DePrisco, so maybe it's not all that surprising that he couldn't stay ahead of Siegfried Brandt. Bit of grass on the tires for the Mustang. The all-wheel drive exit speed is just to carry the Cam away from Thrasher going on to the oval. Do we see a desperation move from Thrasher? I'm not... he's a mixed bag when it comes to that. If this were an AI ahead of him, no doubt he'd be sending that thing like it's spam mail. He gets a huge exit from the bus stop though, and so he will actually be at about a dead heat with Cam going through Oval 3 and 4. The driver, or the car name tags stop existing for a moment, but we ignore that. Thrasher using that huge exit and the bottom part of the oval to pull ahead of Cam altogether. We say the bottom of the track irrelevant in this conflict. Cam brakes aggressively, but on the outside of Thrasher can't do a lot. And Thrasher holds the apexes of the little kink there, meaning there's no room to overtake. Cam thought about it again into the first of the two horseshoe curves. Because Cam tried desperation. Nobody wants to lose to a car in a lower class. Meanwhile, somewhere in the background, Siegfried Brandt got ahead of Dom DePrisco, and all things considered, the top 6 aren't that, the top 5 aren't too spread out. Cam and Thrasher both go high over the Delta driver. Oh god, there's more slow cars. They just split Emmy and Gina heading towards the bus stop. That must have been absolutely crazy from a camera that's not 63 miles away. They made contact trying to bicker over which lane to use. Emmy about ran into Cam, actually did. And in an ironic turn of events, Emmy has probably just cost Cam a chance at the win. Because Thrasher was given a full lane on the bottom, but they gave Cam not a whole lot of space. Cam has momentum. He's got slipstream, he had a good exit, but he isn't going to get there in time. Thrasher takes the overall roulette race victory here at Daytona over several 720 class cars. 4, at least. Brandt showing that a big engine can be a big help, and DePrisco also a notable result for him, as he also outdoes 2 720 cars. He was ahead of Orleans the whole race. Like, a position ahead. Orleans literally just could not catch up to him at all. Given a different starting grid circumstance, McIntosh probably could have, but the crossbow was helpless. And so with that, we head to the final race of the episode. It's the final race of the episode. It's a 2-lap 720 category race at the Le Mans circuit. Only the second time we've visited Le Mans so far. And the start of the race here is a mess. It's just frankly chaos. As Summers contributes a lot of that chaos by just straight up looping it coming up towards Tetra Rouge. Okay, where am I again? Here I am. I lost track of myself, just like in Walmart when I was like 6. Reyes fails to pick a lane. Cam and Nico fail to pick a lane. DeForco looking for some needed redemption following his last appearance at High Speed Ring, where he got absolutely embarrassed because he was on the comfort mediums as the only car not on the sports set of tires. There are lanes on the road, wise ass. Fuck your shit. Walk me, dive bomb me. Yeah, have fun in that sand trap, buddy of mine. Okay, pal mine. That demoted him to last as well. Well, not quite last, but the back. He's in P16 because he decides to be a twat waffle and he can form so many controversial opinions. He can choose so many bad takes, but he can't choose a fucking lane. LA courteously getting out of my way, seeing the amount of momentum I have. I'll actually attempt to give her a bit of help in return, give her a bit of draft, see if she can get up to the Corvette ahead, but she doesn't have that much momentum. The Corvette has a lot of power. Also nearly runs me over. Oh, she could have dove that. I don't know why she didn't. And they're both just Ridge Racer out of, I believe that's Arnage. This is... When I started the Challenge Series and I decided to race in the top division, a 78 Firebird is just about the last car I expected to have to pass for the lead, and yet here we are, I'm having to pass it through the Porsche curves. I have done it. Yeah. Go under pressure from Hansen. There's a lot going on up and down the field, I imagine. Nico trying to recover from the swift ass-kicking he was administered. Summers literally spun out, but because of the poor top speed of these three cars, she was able to get back to the lead anyway. Not to the lead, what, Ranker? She was able to get out of last place. She's running 17th despite spinning less than a minute into the event. Oh, wrestle that sumbitch! Oh, there goes Ellie on Blanchard, taking advantage of the checkup caused by the Firebird losing control. She's gonna go for bonus points and try and take the Firebird too. But she has to back out because she doesn't believe in the vehicle's ability to grip on the outside there. Admittedly, with how much oversteer she's suffering from in this race, I wouldn't have done that either. And now suddenly the nearly 800 horsepower Corvette engined Firebird is just screeching ahead. He had another gear in that thing. Christ. Yeah, it's like DeFalco's car is like made for this. 200 and almost 220. Meanwhile, Vert passed Ambrosio Reyes, and Wayne Hansen does the same thing into the first of the two chicanes. It seems the running order has mostly spread out to where it roughly should be, except for Wayne Hansen, who's still making up places. His next target is Vert Wheeler, as he'll go down the third straightaway. Vert pulling a Mizoto and not picking a damn lane prevents Hansen from making a pass here and now. Vert still refuses to, he is just sitting firmly in the middle of the road. If you weren't arcing it into that corner just to sit in the way, that's some defense right there, but you may very easily draw the ire of Hansen if you keep this up, Vert. I think DeFalco is safely in the lead, or safely in second, and I'm safely in the lead. Of course, the Viper has raced at Le Mans before. Don't think a Firebird or a Camaro or a Porsche Carrera can really say that. This model of Viper was at least partially built with that in mind. Into what I think they're called the Ford chicanes now. And I will grab a dominating victory here at Le Mans, winning by several seconds, running a sub 4-minute lap time in a street car. Ifoko struggles for grip on exit, but comes home in an impressive P2 in an engine swap Firebird. Ellie joins me on the podium for Mercury, and Hansen eventually got the pass done on Vert. But I have to imagine if he didn't sit in the way for so long, he could have had Riley as well. Nico 8th. I think Tyler started in the top 5, so that's definitely not a positive run for him. I believe I saw at the bottom leaderboards there that yeah, Nico Mizoto ends up with a mere 14th place after starting 5th, running as high as 3rd at some point, but deciding to get in my way and be an absolute douche canoe, and so I sent him to meet his friend in the sand trap. And so that shall do it for episode 22 here in the Challenge Series. We're getting ever so closer to the Dream Car, to DCC Plus. That is going to be a big to-do. As the Dream Car Championship Plus is going to be a 6-race championship spread across 2 episodes. And there will be different little mini scenes, kind of like the one that opened episode 21's second part, strewn across the different races as drivers interact post-race and pre-race and the like. And I know we have a couple of the confirmed circuits. Le Mans is going to be in it in a slightly longer race. We're tossing around the idea of going for a mileage marker or just having 3 15-minute events. Probably going to go with the 3 15-minute events, but we may end up just doing lap counters to better emulate the older Gran Turismo games. I don't know. Me, Gina, and Nutori, even though I'm the only one that's actually running in the 720 class, we'll have to figure that out later, as there's a cone on the road. Someone needs to go and pick that up.